Hello and welcome to episode 149 of Nolo Time. My name is Soviet Velez and with me is the most interesting man in the world, Joel Young.
What's up, Obed? I feel like I could say the same about you being the most interesting man in the world. I feel like you guys don't know the inside story. I know we've talked about it way in the past, but let me tell you, you guys, you think you look at me, you might think you know where I'm from, man.
You don't
It's all
know,
over the
you
place.
don't know anything about Joel. No, yeah, I could probably fit the bill too as the most interesting man in the world, sir.
It's
But
true.
for sure, you have that one for sure. How are you, buddy?
Man, I'm doing good. We had a nice, longer weekend, Labor Day weekend, so.
Yeah, man.
Hope you guys also enjoyed. Hope everyone stayed safe, wearing their face masks, doing what they're supposed to be doing out there. I did a lot of staying home as well, but got out a little bit. First thing I want to mention is, and I mentioned it, I believe, in our last episode, that I was going to be renting, or rather not renting, but rather getting premiere access to Mulan. So this weekend, I ended up seeing Mulan and I ended up seeing Tenet. So it was really one of those double feature weekends,
Ooh,
but not traditional by the sense of it at
yeah.
all. One being on streaming and the other one being in theaters only. So a really unique experience there. So starting off with Mulan. So I tried to go super authentic, man. I went out and I got some Chinese food. I wanted to have a
Joel,
real authentic
yeah,
experience,
that
man.
sounds super racist, but go ahead, dude. Yeah. You know what?
Well,
Part of
most interesting
Joel,
man.
yeah, part
We
of
just were
Joel,
talking
yeah,
about
part
this.
of Joel being the most interesting man is his heritage. So,
Yes, and
yeah,
I also have Asian, specifically Chinese heritage as well.
yeah.
So
Except that's what I mean. So,
I'm safe. I'm safe, guy. No, so I went out. I had a really great time with this movie. Most of the reviews, as you guys have probably have seen, have been very positive. So I'll start off saying the power rankings of the live action adaptations that Disney has done more recently.
mm,
I don't want to put the Lion King in that list because I don't feel like it's live action. It's live action, but it's not. You know what I
no,
mean?
it,
It's
it's
all
it's not. It's CG animated.
right.
It's
It's
not.
CG animated, but I will put Jungle Book in that category of live action
Yeah.
because
Oh
of
yeah.
the
Yep.
kid.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And it's an amazing movie. So I
Yeah.
still think Jungle Book is probably my personal favorite
Interesting.
of the live action movies recently made. Then I would say you probably got. I say you probably got the live action Cinderella. Believe it or not, I think that movie's really good.
Oh, it's
I don't
good.
think people don't talk
It's
about it, but that
underrated.
movie, it's underrated. You get the feels. It's acting's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice classic Cinderella. And then I would say this one, Mulan.
Okay.
And then I would say like Beauty and the Beast and whatever. But
Interesting.
like and it's like not even
Aladdin.
Aladdin. Yeah, Aladdin would be probably at the bottom of that list. And I feel bad. I don't want to throw the movie under the bus because
It
I
had
did have a good
problems.
time watching it, but it
Uh,
wasn't magical. If that makes any sense.
same. That yeah, and I think we talked about it when I watched it. We talked about it, and it's just that the liberties that he took, right? Like if it would be more like Beauty and the Beast, which was almost like a shot for shot remake, like The Lion King was.
Yeah.
Like I think that would have been a better movie. In the case of Aladdin, because they really cut the problem with Aladdin was that they cut some of the best scenes in the animated movie were cut, right? I mean, there's some scenes that we knew were gonna be cut, right? Because the times and all that, right? But at the same time, like Snake Jafar and all this stuff that was not in the movie, and it was like sucks. I don't know
Yeah,
why. Yeah,
yeah. That's like the magical parts of it, literally, that
yeah.
they're taking out of the movie. Yeah, but Mulan, they changed quite a bit, but they kept the heart of the movie, in my opinion.
Okay.
So it's not a musical, but there's no music like, like
No
obviously the
singing.
original.
Yeah.
There's no singing, right? Like
Mm.
in that way. And then like, uh, man, I'm ready to go and blank on the name of Shane or the name of the leader of the army or whatever for China, that she falls in love with in the animated,
Yeah. I forgot
right?
his
So
name.
this,
Yeah.
right? So he's not in the movie. We knew that beforehand. It was already said that he wasn't going to be
Interesting.
in the movie.
Okay.
But the character that replaces him is literally like the same character. He's just not like the leader of the army.
So did they probably do it because they did want to have like a love interest in the movie more than likely?
No, he's. I mean, I don't want to spoil, but it's basically the same. Basic to my opinion, it's basically the same thing. Like, there's literally
Oh.
the scenes that character has important moments with Mulan in the original. They replace it with this actor. Said, I don't want to spoil too much for people after watching, but I think if you spoiler alert, the original Mulan's been out for like a long time. So if you want to be spoiled, don't tell me
23 years
what
or
happens
something.
in Mulan. It's like, come
Yeah.
on, guys.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, like that was there's some of the decisions that they make changes, but it's still true to the heart of Mulan, like in that way, right? So you still recognize it's not unrecognizable some of the stuff that they did. And that's again some of the things that they specifically removed from the movie, also similar to like we were talking about with like Aladdin, was like, yeah, times have changed, you can't do that, and then so it was fair. Um,
Man, it's like that like right now with how things are, we're never gonna get that remake of Hunchback of Notre Dame.
I know.
That
I
movie
would
is
if they
messed.
did it, it would not be that
That
movie at
movie
all. It'd be
is
like the
messed
character, and they
up.
would change everything.
That movie's messed up, dude.
I
Yeah,
know,
it
There's a
has
lot of fans that want them to make
that's
it too.
probably the most
Yeah,
evil of the Disney villains,
yeah.
and evil in many different ways. So it's it's
No, I
not that's
agree.
not gonna fly, bro.
No, no,
Yeah, like even back
no,
then,
man.
it's kind of uncomfortable. Like it's this guy's like weird,
It is
dude.
uncomfortable. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. No, with this movie, like I had joked beforehand saying that like when you watch the trailers, you see some stuff that Mulan's doing, and I'm not saying that some stuff she does in the animated thing isn't like, oh my goodness, it's unreal. Like it's it's a fiction. It's an interesting story. But I was joking. I was like, she moves like a Jedi. Like when you watch like this stuff, like she's over here like doing back flips and all this. It's like it's a ninja, but it's like a ninja Jedi the way she's fighting, right? So I was like, there has to be some kind of supernatural element to it, and they definitely expose some of that as well, but still keeping it faithful to Mulan's heart, right? So the chi is very important, right? Her chi. But yeah, good movie all in all. There's a nice fun little surprise at the end of the movie as well that was nice. And definitely looking at it from a business standpoint, it's too soon to wave the victory flag. Like there's some media outlets that are like, it was amazing. It's like, okay, like I'm sure it did very well.
Yeah.
We know that there was a 63% boost in subscribers for this thing. We also know that there was like a 78% boost in subscribers for like Hamilton when that came out. Doesn't mean that this movie had less viewership than Hamilton did opening of weekend on Disney Plus. One was included with subscription. One you had to have premiere access, and even one of the producers of Mulan went on the record. Read the article on Forbes. It's really good where they were saying like the metrics aren't there yet to break down how this really works from a weekend standpoint between people who came Disney Plus subscriber, but maybe waited to get premiere access. And then if they had premiere access, did they start watching the movie over the weekend? And if they started it, did they finish the movie? Did they rewatch the movie? Like what's like authentic for the sense of actual viewership? But regardless, I'm sure they've got a great success. I was impressed with it. And it does make me think, man, is there a chance that we have like a Black Widow being on Disney Plus? I would say there is a chance. Um, I was I've been very open about this from early on,
Yeah.
saying it was not going to happen, saying that
Yeah.
Mulan wasn't going to happen. But this has gone on for so long from an economic standpoint. What's going on? That I mean, decisions have to be made, right?
Yeah. There was rumors that Black Widow may just get pushed into next year. Like they may just push the entire Marvel like lineup. I mean, I think it's probably a good idea because that gives them time. And we didn't really go into it last week. Out of respect for Chadwick Boseman.
Yep, I was gonna say the same.
We just touched about. We just wanted to talk about him. We didn't want to talk about what's going on. But now that that's uh, simmered down a little bit, uh, I think that what could definitely benefit Marvel would be just push everything a year,
Right.
because
Give
that'll
it
give him,
time.
yeah, that'll give him time to figure out what are they gonna do. Are they gonna bring back Killmonger? Are they gonna make Shuri the next Black Panther and do it as like, hey, just like in the comics, you have to work out. You have to like honor the character in some way as well,
Right.
which is gonna be
Very
difficult
true.
because they have this crazy like Wakanda tech that everyone's basically immortal. And how are you gonna do this right? It's gonna be a fine line, but I know that they'll come through. And that being said, they could benefit from just moving everything a year and not sweating about it too much. Versus, we clearly know what the future of like Star Wars, at least for the time being, is, which is TV. And I don't foresee to see another Star Wars movie until like 2023. To be honest with you, it sucks, but that's the way it is. But yeah, that'll give them enough time to figure out what's going on with Marvel, bring in other characters now that they have the Fox stuff in, and they're gonna work it into the MCU and whatnot. So yeah, that's what I think
Very
they
true.
should do, honestly.
You might
But
as well
cool,
push it. You're right.
yeah. So how was Tenet? Because I heard very good things about it.
Yeah, I I had an itch on my back and it was called Tenet, man. I had been itching for this to see this movie for a while. Not saying that I wasn't excited for Mulan, but this was one of those things that I could not wait to watch. Went out and saw it in Dolby with AMC because I have that pass got reinstated. So it was my first time back to the movie since they reopened. And man, like I so Tenet is one of those movies that on the surface, it's probably not the deepest Christopher Nolan movie. Like, as long as you're watching and you're paying attention, it's not going to be like,
Like
oh, I totally
Inception.
missed that. Yeah, you're like, your
Yeah,
mind's you're like, oh, snap. Like, no, it may, like, you
yeah.
can sit there, hit play, as long as you're watching the movie, story makes sense,
Good.
the message makes sense. And I appreciate that. I think that's great. But let's talk about some action. Bro, this movie brings it.
Nice.
They do stuff in this movie that is so awesome because of the whole. Now, I'm not going to get into it, but you
It's
guys
not
see
time
the trailer.
travel or inversion or whatever they call it. Yeah.
Right, right. It's
Yeah.
it's like this whole reverse, like with oh man, it
It's the
gets
sense of time.
oh, it's so good, dude. It's so good. I
Nice.
I was on the edge of my seat with some of these scenes to the point that, with my thing I can go see a movie again. And since there's nothing else playing, there's a possibility that in the near future I will be seeing that movie
Just
again. But
yeah.
the other thing that I also got to say is I'm so glad, Obed, you're a sound junkie. You've got a great surround sound system in your home and your headsets and whatever. But like, yeah, that's one of those movies you have got to have a great time with your surround sound. To anyone that's ever experienced Dolby with Disney's not Disney with the movie theaters, AMC movie theaters, they actually put subwoofers under your chairs. So, most movies you feel a little, rumble, whatever. This movie, the like, I don't know if you've seen any of the reviews online. There's moments where like the music is louder than even like the people talking. And in the end sequence too, there's so many different like gunshots and stuff going off. No exaggeration. Like every gunshot, my chair like was like getting hit. I was like looking around for my safety, bro. It felt that authentic.
Yeah.
But no, it's an incredible movie. Not don't go into it thinking, oh, it's gonna be like mind. It's a one of the more simpler ones, but does not disappoint in the action department, and it's a good time.
Nice. Nice.
It's not too
Yeah.
long. It's 2.5 hours.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been itching for that movie too. I gotta be honest. I mean, I probably won't be able to go out and see it, but I'll definitely grab it when it comes out.
And Batman's in the movie, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, how is he? How
Hopefully he
is
gets
he?
well soon.
He's good, right? He's good. He's good.
Oh yeah, he's no. I mean, that's
He's
you're
a good
watching this
actor,
movie
dude.
alone. You're like, this guy is totally fine being Batman. He's
Yeah, man.
playing a great action character in this movie.
Yeah, I don't know what the big problem was.
I don't
Big
understand it, man.
crybabies, man.
Mm,
Seriously.
ouch.
uh, not much on my end, dude. It's like same old. So, I did fire up Street Fighter for and played just the offline single player. And did some training because I'm rusty as heck. And so so my plan is, so there's a wrench. We'll talk about it when we do our pretty much gaming section, because we only have one piece of news that is not gaming related. Everything else is gaming related tonight. Um, but there's a wrench that's been thrown, right. But my plan is, when I finish Ghost of Tsushima, which I'm almost there, I'm probably just gonna go 100% into Street Fighter for the foreseeable future.
He's going back.
Yeah, it's a big problem, Joe.
You pulling out the fight stick again?
Yeah, yeah. I'm going in. I'm going in. So I don't know if you saw that there's 3 million new players since it came out on PS Plus,
Makes sense.
and
I
they are
downloaded it.
very happy. They are very happy with that. So I'm probably just gonna upgrade to Champion Edition, which the only thing that I would get would be the stages and the 4 characters that I don't have right now, because I've bought the season passes every year, even though I don't play it. I just buy the season pass. It's ridiculous. Because I just want to support the product, right? It's kind of like the same thing with Nier. I bought the Nier DLC and I never played it because I just wanted to support the product. And I'm like that. You'll find me, and I if it's something that I love, I'll support it monetarily, because that's how we get more of it. To be honest with you, so I'm probably just gonna go ahead and upgrade to Champion Edition. I should have done it 2 weeks ago because it was on sale, the upgrade pack. But we'll see. We'll see where this thing goes. Let's. I'm one episode away from finishing the season 1 of The Boys, Joe, because we talked about it last week, and I was only like 3 episodes in. My God, dude, this show is good. It's good. It's, man. Yeah, like I'm in. I wasn't gonna keep, because I selected the monthly option for Prime, because I don't really need Prime all that much. I don't really shop on Amazon like that often. Every few months I'll buy something, but I usually go, if I need something right away, I'll just go to Best Buy or eBay, because eBay, I don't have to pay tax, free shipping, whatnot, if you can find it. So I like to shop around. But that being said, I'll keep it around just for season 2. Season 2 is 3 episodes in right now, and man, this show is nuts, bro, and I really like it. Really highly recommend it. Cobra Kai is still good. Finished season 1. I'm like 3 episodes into season 2. Really like it, man.
And season 3 is coming.
Yeah, season 3 is coming out. It's again still playing to the nostalgia. They do it in a good way. It's not like super. A lot of the classic stuff that comes out, it's like really like, oh, let's pander to the old school fans. And like I said, Karate Kid, the original movie is definitely my top 10. Yeah, it's good. I like it. It's here and there when it comes to the directing, right? There's things that are iffy. Some of the writing is okay. But it has its moments. Like, it has its good moments. So I'm still enjoying that. So I'm looking forward to finishing that. Like I said, Ghost of Tsushima, I'm there. I'm maybe a couple hours away, and because I've done everything, dude. I've been, so I basically done all the side quests. Like, I unlock a part of the map. I do all the side quests, and then I go to the story missions. which is weird because the story missions, they often give you like really good gear and you learn new stuff, and just putting off that, it's not great, but at the same time, you got some really good stuff now. Game's real good. I think I have an idea how this game's gonna end. Um, I saw a screenshot, but at the same time, it's like yeah, like I could see it. Like I saw a screenshot, and I wasn't mad that I saw what I saw, because I think like there I got to the part of the game where I felt like this is where the game gonna be ending at. So we'll see. Can't wait to go into that again. Uh, Joe, just to jump into the topics. So we finally got a confirmation about the Mandalorian season 2, October 30th. Joe, I am very very excited. So yeah, what more is there to say? It's Mando season 2, and based on rumors, it's gonna be crazy. So
It's gonna be really crazy. A couple pictures came out. Cool. I mean, there's not much more to be said
yeah,
than like, and I don't even cool isn't like, they're whatever. It's like, no, they're cool. Like they really are. It's Mandalorian. It's recognizable. They haven't done anything that looks too crazy. It just looks like
not
the
spoilery
production.
at all. They're playing it close to their chest.
Yep. And to me, it looks like the production value. Maybe it's just the photos at least, but to me, it just looks like looks a lot better. I don't know how many of you guys have maybe seen side by sides of season 1, season 2 from these photos, but yeah, they look like if you would have put this out to me and I wouldn't, and like I was in the past and I saw these pictures like, hey, this is coming in the future, I'd have thought it was a movie. It just looks that good, the
Yeah.
quality. With all that being said, Moff Gideon, Obed, do you think that this guy could have force abilities? He's got the
Hmm.
dark saber, and he says he's one of the man, like he's like just like the Mandalorian. But
I
like
don't.
I
I
don't
don't.
know,
I
man.
don't think so, but I do think that he was present in the battle with Maul.
Hmm.
Like he was there.
Okay.
Yeah. Like he knows stuff. Like he was definitely involved with the Clone Wars, and maybe fought a certain not Jedi that may or may not be in season 2, because he probably was one of the Mandalorians that was masked, that wasn't revealed.
True.
Yeah, that we
Because
saw
like he said,
in the last season of Clone Wars. So
because for me, it's just like if you're gonna have a guy like this fight a Jedi, like I mean, either he has the Force or he's just really good, which
his,
can happen. I mean,
yeah.
that is Star Wars canon, but I don't know. That's just something that I've just been thinking and meditating on.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, we saw it with Grievous, and we saw it with
right.
even the Mandalorians themselves.
Right. The
So
dark saber's been wielded by non-force users, but
mhm.
it is combative against lightsaber and force users. Yeah. So what I wanted to talk about really quickly was some of the quotes along addressing the rumors surrounding season 2, and Gina Carano first. She made a statement saying that when they asked her about Ahsoka Tano, Boba Fett, and Bo-Katan, her quote was, "Some of them are true. Some of the rumors are true. Some are not true." That's that's that. That's all she said there. Then the
Not,
next,
not telling me anything whatsoever.
not saying. So basically, what you're saying is, at some point, yeah, like okay, like maybe Bo-Katan is there, maybe not Boba Fett. I don't know,
Dude,
but
Bo was confirmed though. Boba
well,
Fett,
I know
Bo,
they got the actress,
yeah,
but
yeah. Boba Fett's a different story though, because the Boba Fett could or could not be. Like to me, Boba Fett still died at the Rancor. Um, but
what was that? What was
the
those
thing with
buckles on the
Kennedy,
boots at the end of which episode was that in the series? Remember the one with Ming Na Wen, that
yeah,
episode
yeah, yeah, yeah,
out
yeah.
on the sands, and then this guy shows up right to her, and all we see is the boots, and that's it. Never revealed who that is.
Oh,
I don't know, man.
yeah, yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah,
It's just that's just the thought. But then the next,
yeah.
the one to me that's the one that we really want to hear is from the man himself, John Favreau, right? So his when they asked him about the rumors, his response was, The new season is by introducing a larger story in the world. These stories become less isolated, yet each episode has its own flavor, and hopefully we're bringing a lot more scope to the show as we introduce other characters, not new characters, other characters. There are opportunities to follow different storylines. The world was really captivated by Game of Thrones and how that evolved as the characters followed different storylines. That's very appealing to me as an audience member. So I don't want to read in between the lines too much, but I think my my interpretation of what he's saying is we're bringing in characters because this show is going to become bigger than just the Mandalorian. Like other shows are going to come out of this show. Like
Yeah.
we already know
Yeah.
that there's going to probably be an Ahsoka show. There's probably going to be, something else as well with any of the other characters. Maybe Ezra. We don't know like who else and what else shows up. And I think there's going to be surprises. I think that there's going to be some surprise characters possibly that are either referenced or directly seen. And I mean, it's funny, right? Because like the show's called The Mandalorian, and it's going to be, of course, for at least between the first season, probably what they do this season, it's going to focus on their story. But when you start using words like multiple storylines, you start losing like the Mandalorian. You have the Mandalorian storyline, and you've got this other person's storyline.
Yeah.
I've said it before. I think Star Wars is the Force. Like I don't think Star Wars is necessarily Jedi, it's not necessarily Sith. It's not necessarily like just space, right? Like it's as long as if you don't have the Force or an element of the Force in your property, then it's not Star Wars. It's hijacking the name.
Yeah.
Like having a character like Baby Yoda, even the child be in the first season, like that just showed it did so well because you had a Force user in the show, right? The Force has to be very important, right? Binding everything together. And I think that's the kind of stuff that we could see coming out of this show, right? It's like when he's talking about like the reason we're bringing all of this stuff in is because there's going to be a larger world that we're creating where it's not going to just be about the child and Mando. Like it's going to be about the child, Mando, and then these other people are going off doing stuff that connects to their storyline, but there's going to be clearly a lot more. And this also makes me get excited, dude, that maybe Favreau is going to be the guy to take over Star Wars. Maybe because if he's open to being the one to set up the future of Star Wars from a TV presence, we know what he's done in cinema, on film. So yeah, that's just kind of some stuff I've been thinking about based on those comments, based on the pictures, and getting excited because we're about a month away, dude.
Yeah. I'm excited. It's Star Wars, and yeah, what you said is 100% true. Like even in the spin-off movies like Rogue One and Solo, there is something that calls to the Force. So yeah, I can see stuff like really spinning off of this show. So yeah, I'm excited, super excited, man. It's Mando, Star Wars.
No trailer. Less than about a month away. No trailer, man.
Yeah, that was weird because I thought they were just gonna do a trailer for it.
I say that and it will drop tomorrow.
And
right?
it was like, well, like 9:30, like 10:30 tonight. Like after we're done recording, it's gonna come. Like if that's the case, dude, I will do like a reaction. Like I'll record myself and do a reaction, post it on the YouTubes, get demonetized. Just by posting 3 seconds of Justice League. Oh, Warner, what the hell? But yeah, I'm excited. Joe, there's a lot to talk about gaming wise, because the beans were spilled, things happened, things got confirmed, and it's pretty crazy. So it all began early this week. I think it was like Sunday. It's like Sunday night, like overnight on Sunday.
Yeah.
And it was like 3 a.m. on Sunday. So this dude, I can't remember the name of the user on Twitter. He goes ahead and basically confirms the existence of the Xbox Series S. We've known about it, like we've talked about it,
right,
on the show. It's no secret. That's the worst kept secret in gaming, right? So it's confirmed. and he goes ahead and posts a picture, and it looks freaking terrible. Like this box, like the monolithic, like Series X.
Looks better.
That looks pretty cool, actually, in comparison to this thing.
Right.
Because this thing is awful. Awful. That
old.
stupid grill, man. Like, I'm telling you, if that grill was white, like, if it was all white, that would have been a million times better. But why do you have to do, like, that, like, circle there, dude? It looks terrible. Alright. Let's gripe number 1. So we can start from there. So he goes ahead and confirms this. Confirms that the price is $299, which we predicted. And says that the price for the Series X is going to be $499, but it's not confirmed. But the price for the Series S was confirmed. Microsoft acknowledges the leak. And then a few hours later, they go ahead and posts everything, confirms that the Series S is going to be $299, confirms the specs, confirms that the Series X is going to be $499, and they confirm that the date is going to be November 10th for the release of both consoles at the same time. Pre-orders start on the 22nd, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So specs wise, right? This is exactly what we've known. It's like it's a 4 teraflop GPU instead of the 12. It has 10 gigs of RAM instead of 16, and it has half the hard drive capacity. So instead of having the 1 terabyte SSD, this thing has 512.
But all digital.
And it doesn't have correct, and it doesn't have a disk drive. They're saying, Microsoft is saying that this thing is gonna be like a 1440p machine. Is still capable of doing 120 frames per second. Is gonna have a built-in hardware upscaler for 4K.
Ray tracing.
Yeah, it's gonna support ray tracing. It's gonna be basically all that. For the price, Joel, this is actually a pretty good freaking deal, if you ask me. Because on my PC, I spend I'm gonna round it up to like $725. What I spent building the computer. I already had a monitor, already had keyboard and mouse. I mean, I bought one. I mean, I got some later, but and I basically have the same specs as the Series S right now. So I have my CPU is 3.6 gigahertz, same architecture, but my video card is like a 4.2 teraflops, but it's GDDR5 and it's way slower. Like when it comes to like the speed and the memory speed, is way slower than the Series X. That being said, Joel, I went ahead and did a benchmark on Gears 4. And I was able to force 1440p on Gears 4 with all the settings on high. So I had all the settings on high, 1440p, and I still benchmarked at 70. It was like 71 frames a second average. So I still did pretty good. Which means that the 1440p that they're touting is absolutely plausible. Joe, again, I'm standing by my $499 for the PS5, $499 for the disc version, $399 for the digital edition. If Sony comes out with a similar console to the Xbox Series S, I will get that. At that price, at $299, I'll get it. I don't care if it's digital or not. Like, it has a disk drive, I would not care. I would get that. To be honest with you. So, who is this machine for? If if you game on a monitor and you don't care about 4K, you have a 1440p monitor, and you don't care about using it on a TV and having this gigantic machine, because it's pretty humongous, dude. That the Series X, the Series S is a little bit smaller than the Xbox One S, which I think is a better design overall, like aesthetically speaking. So they should have just gone with like that sort of thing again. That grill, dude. It's like, why would you put that stupid grill? That, to be honest with you, if I would get that console day one, I would yank that grill out and I'll paint it white. Because it's stupid. It looks ridiculous. So, yeah, man.
So for those of you that follow us on social media, which you should, at No Load Time, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, we put out a post, meme when this came out, where essentially it's the Xbox Series S, where
it's a boombox.
Because at first glance, looking at it, you might be like, "Oh yeah, that's it," and not catch the meme. But it's instead of it being the actual design, it's a boombox next to the remote.
Yeah,
it's hilarious. But,
it's ridiculous, man.
Yeah, I mean, and as much, the more that I think about it, the more that I'm like, as much as I've tried to defend actually the design, I'm like, it's not that bad. Then I'm like, it is. It looks dated.
That's the thing. That's exactly what it is. It just looks dated.
And I feel bad because I think it's just the size of that grill being so big and so round there. I know that there's reason behind it, right? We're trying to get like airflow and that kind of stuff, right? But
yeah,
like I was like, okay, maybe if they would have made like an X going across it, like the grill, like in the shape of an X or some kind of thing around. I was like, nah, it still would look ridiculous because it just doesn't. It just sticks out like a sore thumb, man. But like. Every time I think about, like, my first thing was like, let's get into specs, and I'm those people, like, Obed and I, we both have a technical background. Obed's way more technical than I am, but still, like, looking at the specs of it, like, I was trying to understand is what is the real difference makers between this and the Series X. And yeah, I agree with Obed. Like,
so
the big, sorry, you go ahead.
No. I'm gonna. So I'm sending you a link here in a second. There is. I used to, my first job ever.
Okay.
When I moved to Orlando, was at a Subaru dealership. This looks exactly like the I sent it to you just now, Joel. This looks like the optional subwoofer that you could get on a WRX, 2002, 2003 WRX. It's basically just.
I see it. Oh man.
That's what it reminded me of. It's like, man, this looks like the subwoofer box for a WRX.
Can we pull that up on our?
Oh yeah. Let me hold on. Let me go ahead and put this on.
While you're doing that, I'll keep talking. But it does look like it. But I do have to say the price point. What's up there now?
Let's see. Oh no.
If you were listening to the audio,
go ahead,
you guys gotta check
yeah.
us out on YouTube, by the way, so you can see our video reaction to this stuff. It's hilarious, man.
There you go. Yeah. Looks exactly like a WRX subwoofer. Man, what are you guys thinking? Who designed this thing?
No.
It's ridiculous.
Oh no.
So.
But I have to say, you're absolutely right about the price, though. Like, I cannot knock these guys for what they're able to do for the price.
Absolutely.
I am not certain, Obed. I'm really not certain that the Series X is going to outsell the Series S.
No,
I don't
agree.
think it's a for sure thing.
I agree with you.
There's a really good chance. I think Xbox guys could adopt this all digital idea. Yes, like you're saying, the 4K stuff is what really is the game changer, right? Because I do think. Like, I think gamers want to have that hey, we've got our 4K, our next gen hardware, and this, like, in some ways, I've seen the comparisons, I've seen the breakdown. In some ways, it's like less powerful than the Xbox One X. Like, in some regards, it's kind of hard to really
So it's not necessarily apples to apples, right?
Right.
Because the architecture that the Series S has is way better than the architecture on the Xbox One X.
X.
So the thing with the Xbox One X is, well, the thing with that specific console is that because of the GPU having 6 teraflops, they were brute forcing a lot of this stuff. They were like basically brute forcing resolution, brute forcing other, frame rate, whatever. With the Series S, because it has a more advanced architecture, it doesn't need that many teraflops to be as efficient. That's why basically this machine, the PS4 Pro has more teraflops. PS4 Pro has like 4.2 teraflops. This thing has
Right.
4. But PS4 Pro CPU just is not even close to the CPU on this thing. So
Right.
that's what I'm saying. If Sony comes out with a console like this is the console for me. Because I'm not a graphics like crazy person. Like, oh, I need to see my pixel perfect 4K and all this stuff. But, go ahead.
Like, but that's the thing, right? Like, if we're just judging purely a console and not necessarily the whole package, like just the console alone, this appeals to me as well. Like like if games and other issues that Microsoft's been having, like if that wasn't a thing, this would be on my list
Yeah.
because this makes sense. So this is why I'm saying, like, I don't know what's the common consensus. And if you guys have, feelings, you're Microsoft fans or you're looking forward to buying this thing, please write into us, email noloadtime@gmail.com. I would love to hear about it, but like I'm very curious, like, to see what the response is going to be from people who actually use their dollars, because especially it's coming out close to the holidays.
Yep.
Like, this is gonna blow up. I think this could be an incredible seller, and
Absolutely.
that's what Microsoft needs. They need something to bring in that cash flow and
Yeah.
get that in their homes. But will this hold back the Xbox Series X because of
See.
specifications?
Well, here's the thing. Because the CPU is the same, but it has less memory, and the GPU is not as crazy. When it comes to memory, like 10 gigs is plenty. To be honest with you, I don't see you the any game like in the next 4 years to use maybe more than 8 gigs, like modern game, and you can make it uh, more efficient. Um, the thing is that because of the CPU being the same, they can scale down graphics with like a slider or a toggle, like what you would do on PC. Like instead of oh, this is this console, I'm gonna run at this specs. Oh, this is this other console, I'm gonna run at this specs now. So that's a lot easier to do when the CPU is the same. The scalability that this console would that these two consoles will have, it's I don't think it's a lot of work on the developer's end,
Okay.
and if any, is just gonna be nominal. Now that being said, when it comes to like the 4K big stuff, then yeah, you know, if if you're into like the big 4K, have a gigantic TV at your house and really want the ultimate experience, yeah, go for the X. There's no reason why you should be looking at this other console.
$200 more,
Yeah, exactly.
get you
Uh,
this.
yep. Um, Joel, the here's what, right. The pricing is great. I think it's great. Right. The console looks awful. Price is great. This is like a Hyundai scenario.
Wow,
It's like
it's a great
it's like,
comparison.
it's like price is great. It's it's not bad, but it just doesn't look that great.
It doesn't look great, but it gets
Yeah,
the job
it
done.
gets the job done exactly. Um, um, so so they're not only going with the aggressive pricing right off the bat. I think that financing pseudo financing option that they have is super aggressive. So basically, they're bundling the console with Xbox Live, Game Pass, and EA Access
Now that's pretty
for
impressive.
$25 a month.
That's impressive, man.
That's a game changer, right? And that only that's I think that's US only. I think that's US and Canada only. I don't think that's available anywhere else. But that is very, very aggressive. So it's $25 a month if you want the S, 35 if you want the X. So it's a $10 premium. I'm pretty sure I'm missing another feature that it's included in there, but yeah, dude, it's pretty crazy. You know what? I think I have the Microsoft website open here somewhere. Let me see if I can find it. I was too excited talking about WRX.
No, but that deal alone, like that is totally worth it. If you're gonna be getting this thing, $25 a month, get this full library, plus you get
So
these titles that are right away being put on Game Pass, like
they
right away these new titles.
they expanded it. So it's gonna be Australia, Canada, Denmark, Finland, France, New Zealand, Norway, Poland, South Korea, Sweden, UK, and the US.
Wow.
In the US, it's only available if you buy the console through Best Buy, GameStop, Target, directly with Microsoft or Walmart. So it's specific retailers. And yeah, basically, like, holy crap, dude. That's a freaking good deal. Like, if you ask me, that's aggressive. And that's where Microsoft is gonna be like on top of their game with this thing, right? They're gonna give you the service model with the hardware. I don't know if this thing is a limited time, right? But
True, is a small a deal for the short term or a first
correct,
adapters or adopters, excuse me.
yeah. But it's aggressive, and I like it. One thing of note, based on the leaked info that's out there, the memory expansions that the X has 1 terabyte, 512 gigs on the S. If you want to expand that, they're going to be selling 1 terabyte modules, and they're proprietary, made by Seagate. There's no third party at the moment. Based on the leaked info, dude, those things are gonna be $230. So $230 for the 1 terabyte memory expansion.
Yeah, but it's like it's like an actual cartridge or whatever.
Correct. That you just plug into the back of the Xbox.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is interesting
Yeah.
because with the not to get into it, but like with PS5, like you can actually do your own. You can go in and replace the SSD, but like we were talking about, like on one of the other episodes, like it's gonna be super expensive and super
Yep.
particular. You can't just stick anything in there.
So it has to be a Gen 4 NVMe. Right now, the cheapest one you can get is the Sabrent 1 terabyte 1 terabyte NVMe Gen 4. That's going for $199 at Amazon right now. So about $200.
Wow.
So actually, you know what? Corsair has one for $189.99. Right.
$10.
So it's going down because it was like $250 last time I saw it. I showed it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's definitely going down in price.
Manufacturing them again.
Yeah. So yeah, because they're picking up. I mean, those Gen 4s are new drives basically. Dude, I'm telling you, if they sell me a PS5 slim, like come out of nowhere, right? No disk drive, half the space for and the 4 terabyte or 5 terabyte or whatever they want to do for that price, I doubt it. But if they do it, I'll buy that instead of the 5. I wouldn't pay $399 for the digital. I might as well just pay the $499 for the one that comes with the disc.
Yeah. I don't think digital's not an option for
Yeah.
me based on the idea or the assumption rather that it's gonna end up being like you're saying $399, $599.
Exactly.
That there's $100 difference.
Basing it off
I'm
of our predictions.
I'm gonna get that right. That's our prediction.
Yeah,
There's nothing. we don't know anything, but we're
Yeah, yeah,
predicting.
yeah.
Although we tend to
Yep,
get those things right, right?
yep.
But yeah, I mean, if if uh, if I'm an Xbox person, my gut instinct is I'm getting that
Bro,
Series S.
think
If
about
I'm a
this, right? And this is like, if you're not like exactly what you said, like you're not an Xbox person, you get that $25 a month thing, dude. You have Game Pass.
I
You
know.
don't have to buy a game ever again. Seriously.
Because all these new games come out like day one on that thing.
Yep. A first party are day one, and they have a ton of games, and they keep adding stuff. Um, I kept mine like on PC. I kept it because it's worth it for sure, man. Like,
Wow.
it's a great deal.
And
Like,
that's the thing. They've gone more into that like service industry. Like it's become like they're becoming quickly like a Netflix for gaming, having this Game Pass the way that it is. So kudos to Microsoft for kicking that off.
yeah,
That's a really great model for them.
yeah,
Yeah,
and we're not, and you know what? And we're honest, because we poke fun at Microsoft because they really fumbled it with
some
with
head
the Xbox
scratching
One.
stuff, man.
Yeah, they really fumbled it. And the fan base kept waiting for E3 and whatnot. So it ended up not being the giant AAA blockbuster game that actually saves Microsoft. It's the service stuff that's out there, and
I
that's
agree.
what's going to end up saving the Xbox as a brand. Is the service. So, uh, good job, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is pretty good. I mean, it's ugly ass console though.
Right. But like I
Holy
mean
crap!
at the heart of it, it could be ugly, but like hey, you know what? They did something different, really different,
It's what's inside that counts,
and it's what's
Joe.
inside that counts. As long as you're playing your games, you can hide that bad boy in the corner. Nobody needs to know what it
There's
is.
a company called D Brand, and you can just buy a skin and just skin your
Put it right
Xbox.
over.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah, put it over it, and
that can be fixed.
that's it.
You know.
Um,
Although I'm one of those crazy people, it's ugly. I would keep it that way. Just be like, you know what? That's what it is. I embrace it for what it
It's funny,
is.
from the looks of it, right? Because I'm looking at the oh no, there's the power supply. Okay, I see it. Because they had that cross section or whatever that they showed the innards of it, and I didn't see a power supply, but I do see the power supply here. It looks like the heat sink is considerably smaller compared to the one on the X. So it kind of looks like a Noctua cooler, like one of those low profile coolers, which is interesting. That the fan's gigantic, so that's fine. Like design wise, like the innards are fine, right? It's just that grill. It's like, who the heck came up with that idea to make that grill black
And
instead
did
of
you like
white?
their marketing in that like the videos is like from the grill was like instead like it was like the circle of
It's
like
like a
different images of the games, but then like it's exposed at the end this
yeah,
ugly thing. Like what
it's
is
like an
this?
old Pioneer speaker or something. It's awful.
It does, yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's like
yeah.
it's yeah. I don't like the design, but
I'm gonna take
again,
a picture with like an old speaker I have and be like, I got my Xbox right here.
right?
Oh
Get
man.
a boombox.
Yep.
But no, I mean, joking aside and design choices aside, I think they're coming up with a very aggressive product, very aggressive pricing, and it's a compelling product. You're getting EA access. Like EA access will give you basically like Battlefront and the
Yeah.
Star Wars stuff, and they have a ton of
Forza.
stuff on EA access.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah,
I
it's
mean, the
interesting.
worst thing we're saying is just that it looks ugly.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yep.
That's pretty good. So
Yeah.
there
Yep.
you have it.
Yeah. And they're gonna be competitive. So two things, right? Just piggybacking off of this story, out of nowhere, Nintendo comes out and announces a new Zelda game, uh, Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity, and and then no one knows, and it's a Hyrule Warriors game, right? But it is a prequel to Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild had a lot of unanswered questions when it comes to the story, right? It has a lot of environmental storytelling, which I love, because that's one of Bioshock's like strong points is the environmental storytelling, and it's absolutely phenomenal. So that's something that Breath of the Wild does as well, where you go to an area and you goes like, what the heck happened here? Like, it's like, this, why are these ruins like ruined? Who ruined it? And all this stuff. So so maybe we'll now know some of this. We'll get answers to some of those questions. The game takes place 100 years before Breath of the Wild. So basically, when the calamity happened, and again, it's a Musou game. It's not a full-blown Zelda game, although it looks like this is more streamlined versus being just a fan fest like the original Hyrule Warriors. I'm looking forward to this, Joe. I'm probably gonna get this game, and it's coming out November 20th. Interestingly enough, Joe, I don't know if you saw today, Amazon Japan posted all the PS5 accessories for a release of November 20th in Japan.
Wow. And aren't they trying to do more of a global thing for PS5?
Yes.
Like a global release?
Yep. So I told you it was the week before, right? I think I told you like the what was it? No, I told you that following Tuesday. So the Xbox comes out on the 10th. I told you the 17th for the PS5.
Same difference.
I think they're coming out on the 20th, on Friday the 20th, which is the Friday before Thanksgiving, Black Friday. Again, this is not a Black Friday product. You're not gonna go into Black Friday. Yeah,
No.
yeah. You're not gonna go
Full
into
price.
Best Buy on Black Friday, because they're not. No one's gonna open Thanksgiving. They already said that.
And even if it
because of
was
the
open,
human
ain't
malware.
nobody gonna be in the flesh.
You're
at
not
these
gonna get a
stores.
You're not gonna get a PS5.
There's not gonna be people lining up social
Yeah.
now.
No, you're not gonna get a PS5, dude. Come on, like, which is better for everyone, I guess, because if you can find one online, just get it. So, yeah.
So the 20th. So Obed,
20th.
my question for you is, right. So September 22nd is the pre-order open for Xbox, right? So Obed, when am I going to be pulling out my credit card to pre-order my PS5?
Next week.
Like just like day of, kind of like they're just gonna announce it. And I'm just gonna say buy right now.
It's gonna be either Wednesday, Thursday next week that they're gonna announce the pricing, and it's probably gonna be pre-order now.
An instantaneous pre-order. They're not gonna give me time to like.
Remember, Xbox had to release their stuff because they got leaked, and they got leaked for real because they were gonna wait until that day.
Because I'm on that email thing that's through Sony.
Yeah,
but that doesn't necessarily guarantee that
I'm on the Best Buy one. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so wait, there's no. I should sign up for the Best Buy one too.
Yeah. You can.
I should do that. Hey.
Yeah, I signed up for the Best Buy one. I think they're just gonna come out on sometime next week and say available now.
It.
Yeah, start pre-orders early. Yeah, man. But I think it's coming out the week after. So sort of what happened with Xbox One and PS4, they were a week apart. Xbox came out first, and the week after PS4 came out. So, yeah, man. I think next we'll know. We'll probably know next week. Like they're gonna do it before the 22nd. They're just waiting for the Xbox news to kind of like die down, and
they haven't said anything this week. Everyone thought this week something was gonna be said. They just let it go.
And
I say that, and then 10:30 or
yesterday,
tomorrow something's gonna drop.
So the crazy thing, right, is that yesterday was the 25th anniversary of PlayStation in the of the release, the US release, which is also the 21st anniversary of the Dreamcast. Yep, it's on 9/9/99. Love that Dreamcast, man. Sega forever. So, and then on top of all that's happening, right, with Xbox, and then potentially PlayStation next week, Nintendo comes out, and well, not Nintendo specifically, but they are letting third-party developers know to optimize their Switch games to 4K. So that's happening. That's not gonna happen this year. I guarantee it. That whatever Nintendo's planning is not gonna happen this year. This year they're gonna they're running on Mario on that Mario collection, which is already like the best selling game of the year on Amazon. It's ridiculous. And they're gonna do Zelda and whatever else coming out, Pikmin that comes out like in 2 weeks or whatever. So Nintendo's just playing it like cool. I think that 4K Switch may come out the same day that Mario 3D World comes out, which is like February 20th next year. I think that's the date for that game to come out. For the not that game, but for the upgraded Switch. What it is, I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's gonna be interesting. Switch production's ramping up again. They're like going over because they're like holding. So Nintendo's actually like doing a Nintendo, and they're actually holding Switch stock for the holidays. So they're just pushing out a few consoles at a time, right? Just so there's like stuff out there and people that need to buy a Switch buys it. So that's out there, but they're holding stock for the holidays because they're probably planning a holiday bundle of sorts,
right?
And that could be why they're just waiting on announcing more stuff. So yeah, man, it's crazy. Like my wallet hurts.
Switch 2 would probably be the
Super Switch.
Super Switch.
Ooh, dude. Yeah, that's a good name.
Now, like we just had this conversation about 4K necessity. I'm keeping my original Switch. I don't think I'm gonna be moving up into that. But if I was, of means where I could just buy another Switch, I would.
Exactly.
Because that would be pretty dope.
Yeah. Especially with how good some of those games look, like Breath of the Wild and.
I've been wanting to play that, dude. Even as we just talked about you just talked about this new thing coming out,
bro,
right? Like, I keep looking and I'm like, it's $60, and this thing's been out for like 3 years, man. Because it's just it's a staple of this new console.
So yeah, that game's really good, man. Like I'm telling you, you're gonna get sucked in. But like I said, those like first 5-10 hours, it's hard to get through. But once you break through that barrier, once you have like more than 5 hearts, and you're able to at least find some okay armor, then you're fine. But that game is special. That game's special, man.
Very nice.
Yeah, that's definitely on my revised top 10 ever.
Wow.
That took over the slot.
We still gotta do our year in recap. We'll do that.
Oh yeah. We'll probably you know what? Let's plan for a day in October, and before November comes in, before all the craziness with the consoles come in, and we'll do the generation recap, and then we can probably plan another like revised top 10, because that game took the spot that Link to the Past had on my list, which was like what, number 5 or something. Yeah, that's it's standing right there right now. So very good stuff. I'm really excited to see what comes out. I'm really excited. I'm you know what I'm most curious about? It's how much the DualSense is gonna be, the controller.
I know.
I think that controller is gonna be expensive.
We have no idea what the price of this console is. We have no idea. Like this is crazy. This is the longest they've ever held out, right, before a launch. Yeah. At least we're assuming, because we still don't know a date. But like,
yeah. Well, the thing is that, if you think about it,
surprise us, and it's like December 25th. This thing comes out on Christmas Day.
So E3, when the PS1 came out, they announced it at E3, which was E3 back then. It was like late May, I think, and it came out
announced right before.
Yeah, and it came out in September. So, that was that. Uh, Actually, the Sega Saturn, Joel, the Saturn was announced at E3 and it was available same day. Like Sega came out and said, "This thing's $3.99 and it's available today," and no one knew about it. This is a story, right? This is not
That's
on.
great.
So this is not on High Score, which you, by the way, need to
You
watch.
finish that,
But
yeah.
this could be part of like what the next season two could be, because Sega came out on that E3, said Sega Saturn's coming out, $3.99. It's coming out today, and KB Toys was like, "You didn't tell us that this thing's coming out." So KB Toys couldn't get stock, and they said, "We're not gonna sell the Saturn at KB Toys." So well, I remember when I got my Saturn, when I used to have a Saturn, dude. I had to drive like 3 towns over to Sears to buy Saturn games, or to like EB Games or Babbage's, cause freaking Sega, dude.
I'm
Yeah.
reading. I just pulled up some articles on this.
Oh,
Like, this is
really?
crazy.
Yeah, and then
Like,
PlayStation.
people have to run to like Toys R Us and whatever.
Yeah, and then like 2 hours
What?
later, PlayStation comes out. It says $2.99 for their price, and Sega was like, "Oh no."
Console wars.
Oh no. And like a month later, like 2 months later, they lowered it to $2.99, and they bundled the game. I think it was Virtual Fighter Remix that they bundled with it. Bro, Sega, like,
Same day.
same day, dude. It was nuts. Cause no one knew anything about it. But here's the thing, right? Because back then, like, the Saturn was already out in Japan like a year already. Like it was like a year that the Saturn had already come out in Japan. And the same with the PS1, because PS1 I think came out in like October of '94, and then it came out here September of '95. So it was kind of like the same thing. But the thing is that Sega in Japan had this awesome library, and Sega of America was like, "Nah, we don't like those games. We're just gonna like, man,
You could do crazy stuff like that back then. It still backfired on these guys. But you
yeah,
could do something crazy like that back then. There is no way you could pull
bro,
something crazy like that where it's like, guess what, guys? Here comes the Switch 2 Lite
yeah."
today. You'd be like, what is going on?
Yeah, that's what killed him with the Dreamcast. Well, the Dreamcast was a different story, right? Because when the Dreamcast came out, they did actually have a good launch. Like, the launch was great. It was by far like the Dreamcast launch is probably the third best launch lineup ever.
Yeah.
I think the Switch has the best launch lineup ever, followed by the Vita, and then and then the Dreamcast, which is funny because it's like two consoles that really didn't make it, but
Oh, poor Vita.
yeah, R.I.P. Vita. But the Dreamcast came out, right, and then the specs leaked for PS2, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, why am I?" It's like this, like twice the power and a DVD player. Yeah, dude. Sega, man.
My
R.I.P.
goodness, bro.
R.I.P. R.I.P. Old Sega, but they didn't really know what they were doing. Like Sega, I was so mad at Sega at times. Like, being a Sega fan and just reading on magazines, and it's like, what did this guy do? Why is this game not out here? And then I got internet, and it's like, why does Japan have so many cool games that we don't get? And yeah, it was really frustrating. It was the worst console to be a fan of. I'm telling you.
Wow.
Yeah, but you know what? It was what it was back then. So, but we'll see. This is exciting times, Joe. This is the second major like launch that No Load Time is gonna see. We saw the Switch.
Did. But
So
this is pretty big.
it is significant. So so we're very excited. Unfortunately, we're not gonna be out in the streets interviewing people waiting in lines. That would have been cool to do this year,
Yeah.
but I'm not risking my life
If you guys
for
want to call in,
human human malware. Yeah, if you want to send us an email and tell us how your experience was,
yeah,
pretty cool. But yo, I mean that's what we got. I'm hoping that next week we're gonna have a lot more info on next gen and hopefully a Mando trailer. We'll see.
I know, man. Could
Yeah,
be another big week, but this was a good one, man.
yeah.
But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining with us. We invite you to stay subscribed to us. So our video versions, of course, here on our YouTube channel, as well as we're on Facebook Live. Follow us on social media at No Load Time, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch. Also subscribe to the podcast version of the show, iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, Spotify. We appreciate you all following us and staying up to date with us on those locations. And in addition, you can always send an email like we keep referencing. We'd love to hear from you. So send an email to noloadtime@gmail.com. That's noloadtime@gmail.com. And we look forward to hearing from you all. But thank you for staying with us and stay safe. And we'll see you all in our next episode.
Thank you guys. We will see you again next time.